everybody. Now, I'm almost sorry that we are not in is it the Scandic? Because they have a popcorn machine, and it's going to be a lot of film. So it's a shame that we don't have the popcorn with us, but I think we will manage anyway. We had a really lovely cake. So let's talk about branding, because what we see in the AETC team is that we feel that it's our responsibility to create the awareness, to create the brand images, and then we warmly hand it over to you to bring home the business and the sales, so to say. So we have done a lot of work in marketing and create the awareness and interest of this region throughout these 3 years. And we will continue, actually, because we will give you also some sneak peeks today of what will happen up until the last of June. But yes, this is me. I look terrified in this picture.
And I look so nice with my dog. And you look like a serial killer.
So this is us, the super duo. Do you trust these people to market your region? I would not, almost. But what we did actually was that we realized quite quickly in the AETC team that we will need some help with this. We need some experts. And we picked the marketing or whatever firm. I mean, you're such a big cooperation of companies.
But we do work mainly with marketing, all of us.
Yeah, the people. And they have representatives in all 3 Nordic countries, but we have worked mostly with the Swedish branch of this. And I think that they have done an excellent job. They have gone a long way. Actually, one of you went a really, really long way when we forced him up in the cable car up to the top of Norrvikfjället, because he is really afraid of heights.
Yeah, and he's from Stockholm too, so.
Yeah, so a lot of stress on them. But I think that he managed, and you have done an excellent work in helping us steering this really big region out in the world. And we will tell you what we have done and how. So I think I will leave it to you.
Thank you. As you saw, my name is Andreas, and I work as a strategist at OhMy. I focus mainly on food and drinks, but I think that's a big part of tourism. So I was tasked here with sort of recapping the last 1.5 years that we've been working with AETC. And that's both an easy and a hard task. The hard part is all the parts I've left out. And the easy part is just showing you some nice things. So let's pretend that we were supposed to have a math class, but I came in with a TV and now we're going to watch a movie instead. Maybe that only happens in Sweden, I don't know. So the first thing we did when we were tasked with this was sort of a brand refresh. So this is what the brand looked like in the beginning, that our colleagues at Flatlight here in Rovaniemi, maybe? Yes? Had done. And I think our first sort of interpretation of this was that it maybe didn't feel as Arctic as it could. So I think we focused on bringing it back to the sort of feeling and the colors that we see here, because I think a very important sort of insight to have when you work with destination marketing is that you're not marketing for yourself, you're marketing for the tourists or the visitors. And they are not yet tired of the Aurora, even if maybe sometimes it feels like we are. So that is just an insight from us. So then the sort of the big graphic thing that maybe you've seen, and I'm sure there's going to be some repeats for people if you were in Kirkenes, for example, and my colleague Signe was doing a brand book and the workshop and everything. But I think we call this the first frost, maybe, this graphical element, which is a big part of it. And you can find the brand book, I think, in the base camp, and you can look through it. It's very, very useful.
I actually want to stop there.
Yes.
If you go back.
Yes.
because I think that it's important for you guys to know that all of these assets, the brand book, all of the graphic elements, all the colors that we are using, all the fonts that we are using, all the taglines, all the messages, everything is for you to use. We have a really, really big brand book over at Basecamp that you can download, and you also graphic elements and stuff that you can download and you can use in your own marketing. If you want to sort of ride on this first throws.
Yes.
Yeah.
And also, you can also take that brand book and just put your own things in it, and then tell people you made a brand book.
That is also something.
Yes, and it's very cheap compared to having us make one for you. I will tell you that.
No, but it's a good thing. It's actually it's quite useful,
Yes.
and I like it a lot. It's a lot of information, a lot of know how to use your message or how to get through to your message, and also we connect it to the target groups that we have within this project. So you can also see that, okay, if I want to communicate with this target group, then I need to use these words and these messages and so on. So please, if you haven't, download it and use it. Yes. And copy it.
And copy it, yes. And there's also a lot more assets in the toolkit and everything, so there's a lot of good stuff. So the first sort of the big activity, apart from the brand book, was the sort of first campaign that we did. And we based it sort of in a fake scientific theory that the ultimate stress reliever is going to Arctic Europe. So we identified some things that are not Arctic, we call it Arctic mode then, and we identified some things that are not Arctic mode, such as this, I guess this is, maybe it's the Shibuya crossing in Tokyo, I don't know. But that is not Arctic mode. But this is, whoa. Hello? Are we double clicking? Please, Mr. Wizard up there, stop clicking. And other things, social media is not Arctic mode, but this is. So, sort of the goal of the first campaign was then to take Arctic mode to our target audiences, and they were, as we know, not here, but in Europe and in Asia and the US. So the first clicker, thank you. Yes, we then took our little Arctic mode thing, and we brought it to Amsterdam, and then we also brought a camera crew, and maybe everyone has seen this, but if someone hasn't, then we'll watch it.
We believe that visiting Arctic Europe is the perfect antidote to the stressful everyday. To test our theory, we went to one of the busiest places in Europe to see if we could help.
That was awesome.
It was beautiful. It was like something from a film, you know?
Very different from what I have here. Very crowded.
It was also a nice contrast to just get away from the street and just listen to that.
Relaxo. Seeing the auroras, I was like, oh, this is in my to-do list for sure.
I would live there on my own forever. With my husband, sorry.
So, we also did some classic man on the street interviews with I think this was a sort of a current trend on Instagram at the time. In my algorithm is food and wine usually, but here we did some activities. And we also made some companion assets for this campaign. We did a browser extension. I will show you a demo of that. And we made some, I think it was not early AI, but it was AI-guided meditation. And as you know, with AI, it would have been maybe 5,000 times better if we did it this year instead of last year, but it was good enough. And we made an Arctic mode playlist as well. And then I think the next slide would be, let's fix that, shall we? So this browser extension then we launched on the Google Chrome store, and basically it just replaces everything on a website with Arctic scenery and very nice words. So when you're tired of the endless depression, then just click that. Yes. Good. I'm just holding things. This is my fault. I'm sorry. We heard a lot about the code of conduct from Behavior Smart.
Yeah.
And our mission here was to take what they had sort of discovered and make it marketable.
Yeah, because what we see is that a lot of, I think Milena also said that in her speech, that a lot of these things tend to be like desk products, that you don't communicate them, you don't use them, and you don't get it out there and you don't get the change. So what we wanted to do here was also take those code of conducts, these 6 advices, and also market the wanted behavior to the end traveler. So we asked OhMy to help us to create a campaign around the code of conduct, which is not an easy thing always.
No, I thought we sort of realized that even though the subject matter is important and by no means boring, the sort of, and I think Behavior Smart also talked about this, at least when they presented all of this to us, that it's not an easy task to market this, because we found that in our first drafts of this, we were sounding quite preachy and maybe a little negative, and just sort of smacking the tourists on their fingers rather than showing them a good example. So what we did was, because they coined, I think, Behavior Smart in their presentation, talked about holiday mode, that when you leave your home and you go somewhere else, you go into holiday mode, and sort of all manners and everything that your parents taught you just go out the window when you start throwing your trash on the ground. So we sort of then used our some sort of the umbrella concept of everything is Arctic mode, so it hooked in quite nicely with this. So we wanted to help the travelers go from holiday mode to Arctic mode. This image, I think I Googled dumb tourist, and this is the one that showed up. So I think in holiday mode, like I said, you maybe let go of the responsibility and you choose laziness or the easiest route, while traveling in Arctic mode is showing respect then and compassion to the destination, locals and nature and animals. So how did we wanted to personify then the 2 modes and make the differences very, very obvious. And we call them the unlikely duo. Here you can see the very classic duo, Laurel and Hardy. And then we used a prototyping AI to sort of differentiate between the 2. How do you act when you're in Arctic mode, and how do you act when you're in holiday mode? And then we grabbed the 2 colleagues who were willing to be actors, and we made some videos about this. And I'm going to ask Control Room then to play some videos.
This is Terry. Terry is in holiday mode, so he's climbing into a stranger's garden to do his own take on a viral trend. This is Eric. He's traveling in Arctic mode, so he knows that's a massive invasion of privacy. Be like Eric. Care for the Arctic. This is Terry. Terry is in holiday mode, so he throws trash on the ground. This is Eric. He's traveling in Arctic mode, so he knows to put his trash in his pocket to dispose of it later, properly. Be like Eric. Care for the Arctic. This is Terry. Terry is in holiday mode, so he's taking a taxi to his first activity. This is Eric. He's in Arctic mode, so he chooses a low-carbon alternative since it's only 10 minutes away. Be like Eric. Care for the Arctic. This is Terry. Terry is in holiday mode, so he's asking for directions to a global fast food chain. This is Eric. He's in Arctic mode, so he chooses food that supports the local community. Be like Eric. Care for the Arctic.
It's quite repetitive now when you look at all 6.
This is Terry. Terry is in holiday mode, so he heads out in the wild, unprepared. This is Eric. He is in Arctic mode, so he's checked the weather and avalanche conditions before heading out. Be like Eric. Care for the Arctic. This is Terry. Terry is in holiday mode and is perpetuating false stereotypes about Arctic Europe on social media. This is Eric. He's traveling in Arctic mode, so he's done his research and is eager to learn more. Be like Eric. Care for the Arctic.
I want to apologize to Michael Green for the appropriating of your accent there. So those campaigns went out 2 weeks ago or so?
Yeah, I think so. And I
Yes.
think perhaps one or two of you have seen them already now. At
Hopefully.
least I have shared them when I have stumbled upon them. So, and I think that this is a fun and informative way of sort of trying to get our travelers, when they come here, to nudge them into the right behavior rather than pointing out fingers to them. So we are still marketing these ones, and we will continue up until June with those campaigns. And we do it on our target markets that we have chosen together in this project.
Yep.
And now we have something that is more of a teaser, I would say.
Yes.
Because what we also have seen during the last couple of years is that we wanted to sort of theme up with another brand, a brand that we felt was aligned with our values, sustainability, how we look upon the world, and how we look also upon marketing. But we also could see that Arctic Europe is still an unknown region, and we wanted to partner up with perhaps a more famous brand, if you can call it so, but still align with ours in order to market this area together with them. And it was a bit tricky. We had really high hopes and a lot of big ideas. But in the end, I think it turned out very well.
I agree.
And this campaign will actually, it will tie everything together. It will tie the Arctic mode, the code of conduct, and the co-branding together in a really, really nice way, I would say.
Yeah.
So please go ahead and tell us about what we are going to experience.
Yes, I will show you the short teaser here. Or maybe we can. It's gonna loop forever now.
A forever loop.
Forever loop. I will just do that. So we finally found our partner in Houdini, which is, I guess everyone knows, a Swedish brand. Outdoor brand.
Really big on our chosen markets as well.
And very sustainability focused, and they love the Arctic, and they, most of all, I think, love the Arctic mode as sort of a concept, and they have done similar things before, maybe not so focused in the Nordics. It feels like they maybe head to the Alps to do or to America.
Yeah, Europe and the US and everything.
Yeah.
So what we will do is that we will actually have, because they have a team of Houdini connected influencers, so we will pick 1 or 2 or 3 persons that will travel to our area and will do their take on the Arctic. But we will also start before, actually, when they are still home in their home countries. They are from Netherlands, where we will try to sort of connect the code of conduct so that they are well prepared They know how to behave when they come here and so on, and we will follow them through their packing and their sort of preparations up until they will come here. And they will travel in all 3 countries. Yep. And we will get a lot of good materials out of this campaign, both films and movies and stills that all of you can use, of course. And it's going to happen in the end of May. And luckily we have very little snow this year, so I think they are actually going to be able to be both up in the mountains, in the forests, and down by the coast. That is at least what we are hoping for, so that they will travel in different environments of the region as well.
Yep. And I can't promise this in any way, shape, or form, but Houdini then said they were going to launch the Arctic mode at the Paris Fashion Week.
Yeah, that is their plan.
That is their promise, and I take no responsibility.
Yeah, but we will do the marketing up until the project ends.
Yes.
And after that, Houdini will continue to do the marketing, and they are, of course, present at Paris Fashion Week, and they wanted to sort of launch this film over there, which will, of course, give us a lot of attention.
So I guess we're going to Paris Fashion Week.
Yeah, but that you must do that on your own expense, because that's in July.
Oh, never mind. Okay, so those are sort of the highlights of what we have done so far. There's obviously been a lot more that we've done, but I can't really stand here and show you every single web page update and all of that. But I wanted to share some results from this is mainly from the Arctic Mode campaign, the one in Amsterdam. These numbers, I think Nina somewhere talked about 70 million for the older part of the project. 700 million, yes. So these are numbers from just the Meta YouTube and TikTok campaigns, which is not 700 million, but I think for 700 million you need some headlines in some big newspapers, which is where those numbers come from. But the reach for the Arctic Mode campaign was just over 6 million. And I should say that the media budget then is not necessarily huge, which is, I mean, a pretty important context when you look at the results. Over almost 14 million video views, and I think the more impressive figure is that 13% of people who stumbled upon the video watched more than half of it, which is kind of unusual because when you see an ad, you usually don't look at it that much. So I'm very pleased with that number. And these are sort of the interactions. We have 65,000 link clicks, all of these things. And then the total impressions then for that campaign up until, I think I got these numbers 2 days ago, so it was 18,600,000 for 970. So that's good. Yeah. I think that's good.
I think that's good. Yeah, we think it's good.
We think that's good.
And also we have David over at Trickle who helps us do the set up all the adverts, and he's really pleased. And if he is pleased, then we should be pleased.
Yes, yeah, David, my colleague David at Trickle, who does all the performance marketing, he was the one who said he was pleased. I don't really understand these numbers, so I work with nice looking things, not this.
And I mean, we still have a lot of campaigns going on up until the last of June. So when we summarize this project, we will see the total numbers. This is just half time, you could say.
Yes, and we will also get, I think, there has been a lot of collaboration with Marika's team, who also do a lot of marketing and the digital campaigns, and we have sort of helped each other along the way, and I think the total number of these impressions will be something else entirely when we put them all together. So that will be very exciting to see.
Yes.
Yes. we were 2 minutes 45 seconds too fast.
Yeah. But perhaps there are some questions for us.
There never are.
Nothing?
Hands raised.
I don't see anything because I have a really strong lamp just in my eyes. But if I do like this, no hands raised?
Oh, it was all very clear.
It was all very
Well,
clear.
in that case, I would say thank you, Johanna and Andreas. And I have to say, in these days, very often, reading the news and everything, I do use the browser extension, Arctic mode. It's much nicer that way. But thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.